Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to Bucko Brew, powered by DeFair Coffee and Tea. I'm your host, Anthony DiNardo. With me, of course, we have Jim Rosati. Jim, how you doing, my guy?
Good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning.
I'm doing well. I'm doing all right.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing all right as well. It's a beautiful Monday morning. The Pirates are off today. Can't say they're coming off of a series win. So unfortunately, we don't have that pleasure. But hey, Pirates baseball's here. We're still playing. Still baseball season. Got that
It was
going
a good
for
road
us.
trip. It was a good road trip. I mean,
It
all
was
in all,
overall.
it could have been better. I mean, I think that's the frustrating part. They're definitely playing a little bit better baseball, I think, here than we've seen at the beginning of the season. But yeah, some things didn't go their way. And you and Tyler talked about it yesterday, but some bullpen decisions didn't turn out all that great. 3-3 road trip against Arizona and San Diego. Like, I guess you'll take that. Like, if we would have said that last week, I think we probably would have taken it. But it's just, it could have been 4-2, could have been 5-1. They were in a position to win more than 3 games this week.
Yeah, like you said, that's the frustrating part. You take that. They split. I mean, 3-3. This team road trip on the West. Like, hey, all right, that's good, right? That's still progress in a sense. But yeah, there was right there. This team seriously could have had that series win, and then we're talking about a whole different scenario to that degree. Instead of like, hey, you take that, it's like, wow, this team is now, it's gone 4 series in a row where they haven't lost one. They took the Diamondbacks, they took the Padres series, and that's a good team. They did that away in their place. Hey, how about these Pirates? Is there maybe something happening? Is there really this shift? And it's like, well, not to discredit everything. Like, there's still some progress there, right? The stuff that we talked about on NS9 Live on Thursday about Donnie and this team. I mean, it does seem like there's more life and whatnot, but that's a Shelton move. Like the stuff that we're talking about with Shelton, and then also too, this is why I do when I speak about Shelton. The manager is always the dumbest person in the world. Every manager is terrible. Every manager makes the worst decisions, right? That's where the brunt of this stuff is comes down to. They don't get a whole lot of respect and love. But that was a manager move that you could criticize the hell out of Shelton for. It happened. That's on Donnie, unfortunately. So yeah, that decision used to Tanner Rainey. I keep saying Tanner Rainey at that situation. Absolutely questionable. And I felt like it cost the game.
Well, it ultimately did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's it's a bummer. It's a bummer because the fact that he was your number 3 option out of the bullpen basically there. And he gave an explanation after the game. He was like, I like Rainey's slider against those righties. And then we were going to have Ferguson face a rise. Like he said that was the plan. So that was the plan. And it just, it didn't work out.
Right. Yep. It didn't work out. That's what it comes down to. And again, it's nitpicking, deserving so. Big picture, they went 3-3 on the West Coast trip. It's not the worst thing in the world. They'll be home against the Astros starting tomorrow. So there's that. And you know what? Before we go further with that, though, Jim, as well, let me tell you guys about DeFair Coffee. DeFair is a family and employee-owned and operated business. They believe that coffee and tea are one of the life's simplest and most accessible pleasures, and when enjoyed thoughtfully, can open your eyes to the here and now. They have 5 locations across the city of Pittsburgh, including their flagship in the heart of the Pittsburgh's historic Strip District, where we were, of course, last week, Jim. To learn more about us, check out our Instagram or head on over to our website at defair.coffee. Of course, that is DEFER.coffee. And of course, if you do so and it's your first time going there, as you see here on the screen, go ahead and put in code NS930. That gets 30% off your first purchase at defair.coffee. And yeah, enjoy their coffee as I am doing right now.
Yeah. That was really we didn't really get a chance to talk about that last week at all, but that was really cool being there on location last week. They
Yeah.
were excellent hosts. They had a spot kind of roped off for us, and had a few people come watch the show live. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that again. That was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only thing about whenever we have to do this show somewhere else is I have to wake up earlier. I have to
Well,
wake up early.
yeah.
When I do this show, I'm just walking downstairs. I'm basically waking up, making coffee, and then coming downstairs. When you're going on location, you gotta do a little more than that.
I'll say what was nice though is it was a holiday last week. And
Mhm.
usually on the holidays, we do the show a little bit later, which we did. So we did the show 8 o'clock. So we didn't actually, I woke up about the same time. So that was fortunate. But I'll say this, sometimes you also have to when you're not on location because you travel, and when you're on central time, you're doing the show at 6 a.m. So
That's true. That's true.
sometimes do it even earlier when you're not
Sometimes
on location.
sometimes I do this at Central Time. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we're sickos too. I mean, the fact that we're doing this at 7 o'clock normal time is just pathetic.
Yeah, come talk about what's our record now? 22-38,
38.
something like that.
Yeah.
Talking about the 22-38 Buccos at 7 a.m. on a Monday.
Love it. Love it. Happy Monday, Jim.
Yep.
But yeah, for real. Again, that's a little bit frustrating of a series, but all in all, the play's been better. You know what else happened in that series though, Jim?
What else happened?
Andrew McCutchen hit a home run. And it wasn't just any home run. It was a home run where he tied Roberto Clemente for the third most in Pirates history. Now, we all know Andrew McCutchen doesn't have just 240 home runs, but in a black and gold uniform, right, with the Pittsburgh Pirates, he has 240 home runs and therefore ties him in Pirates history, third all time with Roberto Clemente. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. And as he said, I mean, also with the hits, like it seems like he struggles before he hits these milestones. So he's like, I'm happy I got this off my back. I can move forward. But pretty cool. Pretty cool. And unfortunately, also, like he said, he's done more. He's done more. I'm sure he would have loved to have already passed this because he was a Pirate for his entire life and really be on those record numbers. But yeah, hey, he got the opportunity to come back, and that's something that when a lot of us didn't think it was going to happen. He probably didn't think it was going to really happen. He got the opportunity to come back and continue to pile on those numbers. Cutch, third all time. Next home run, he gets it all by himself.
Yeah. I mean, he's in year 3 now of kind of his return to the Pirates, and they keep doing these 1-year deals, $5 million. This is the third go around at it. I, I I think he's exceeded my expectations of what he could do for these 3 years. I mean, you kind of looked at what he did in Milwaukee the year before coming over, and that was his worst year of his career. And you were hoping that he would at least be better than that. But I mean, he's been significantly better than that. And I mean, you even look at this year so far, the walks are right where you want them to be. The strikeout numbers are the best they've been since 2017. His batting average best since 2017. On base percentage, 368. I mean, he's put that up 3 times since 2015. So like he's having a pretty decent season at the plate right now. Like I wouldn't complain about maybe a little bit more power out of him. The slugging percentage has dropped a little bit since last season, but I mean it's over 400. Obviously you want more, but I'm not going to complain too much there. Weighted runs created plus of 116. That's the highest it's been since 2019. So like he's putting together a really good season for you. And I think one thing too is like he's played a lot more in the field. I don't think he played in the field at all last season. And he's played 7 games now in the field, and he's looked completely capable of doing that. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they can continue to put him out there. He hasn't played in the field since May 12th, and he's only played once since April 16th. So it's like as soon as
So
Reynolds kind of got healthy, they kind of slotted him back into that DH spot. But also with the emergence of Canario, they haven't necessarily needed him out there as much.
true. Now, just want to put out, factually speaking, he did have 21 innings out in right field in 2024. So he did play a little bit, but he's certainly, I mean, he's already more than doubled that this year, right?
Yeah.
53 innings so far this year compared to the 21 he had last year. And I would like to see him play in the field, again, a little bit more, just some sparingly, just to relieve some guys so you can open up that DH spot, right? And I think he's capable. He's come out and said he's capable. And he's also showed that he's capable because he's played it, and he's played it pretty well when he's been out there. I know it's been limited time, but it's not like you've looked at Andrew McCutchen and said, oh boy, yeah, that's why he's a DH. Nothing showed me that. So, but yes, absolutely. Again, like I hammer this so often, and I feel like it's less on here. So it's a good time to bring it up and talk about it on here. But Andrew McCutchen cost you $5 million. You take that all day long with the production he's giving you. For a team that's so cash strapped and a team that's finding a tough time to get bats in this lineup, whether it's through trades, development, free agency, whatever it may be, this team has a tough time finding bats. When you get a bat like Andrew McCutchen and you only have to pay it $5 million, you do it. Like, again, like to me, that's a no-brainer. It's a steal. He has been your second best bat this year. Every time he's been here, Jim, and you're right. Like when the initial signing happened, it was a feel-good story. It was, hey, if anything, we're in the midst of this rebuild. You wanted some veteran leadership. Why not Andrew McCutchen? Like, what a good fit. He is that leader. He has one. You're hoping that the bat's going to be about league average, and if the rule changes with the shift and such, we felt that it could definitely be better. To what level, what degree? Not sure. But for $5 million to bring Cutch back, let's find out. And then he performed. And he said it, like, I'm not here just for sentiment. Like, I'm here to perform and play, and I want to win. And he proved it that year. And you're like, well, I'll be damned. Andrew McCutchen isn't washed. He's not just maybe he's an average bat. Maybe let's run it back again. And he came back. And I know the numbers didn't really show it, Jim, but Jim, we talked time and time again last year. Like, you look at that StatCast page. I mean, Andrew McCutchen's doing some interesting things here. And then this year, it's interesting as well. And like you mentioned, it's 116 weighted runs created plus. Like, this guy is still performing at 38 years old. And I know he's relegated more to a DH role, and that's fine. And again, we can all talk as much as him that maybe play the field a little bit more to open that up. But again, you are taking someone who's been a top 4 hitter on your team every single time he's been here, back for $5 million. He's here to perform. I want him here to perform, not just be a figure.
Yeah, I mean, and also if you compare him to other designated hitters across baseball, you look at, I mean, I just sorted here. There's been 18 players who have gotten 100 plate appearances at DH so far this season, and Andrew McCutchen's weighted runs created plus as a DH is 6th best in Major League Baseball. So like he's tied with Seiya Suzuki. He's ahead of Kyle Manzardo, Gavin Sheets, Brent Rooker, Christian Yelich, Yandy Diaz. So like guys who the Pirates, everyone was kind of clamoring Yandy Diaz this year, Anthony Santander, Jock Peterson. These are all names that we wanted, right? And McCutchen's greatly outperforming them. Jorge Soler, has been better than. So like these are all players that, like there were people wanting to sign Jock Peterson to a 1 year, $14 million deal this offseason. People were wanting to sign Anthony Santander to a big deal this year, and he's been better than all of them. Like I said, sixth best weighted runs created plus as a DH over 100 plate appearances in Major League Baseball. So it's tough to really complain. And yeah, you got to be happy with just what you're seeing out of him. He looks as good as he has at least since like his prime Cutch days. He was pretty good in Philly. He was pretty good in Philly. He was pretty good in that year, like where he was with San Francisco and New York. Like he basically looks like that guy right now. He doesn't look like, Milwaukee Andrew McCutchen, who took a step back, and he doesn't necessarily look like, prime Andrew McCutchen either, but kind of in between those two. And so far he's been a good hitter. And like I said, this is a team that's starved for offense, and you have the reason why this team is struggling is not because of Andrew McCutchen. The reason this team's struggling is because they don't have enough people who are hitting like Andrew McCutchen. Like Andrew McCutchen is a part of the solution right now, not a part of the problem. And I get like the limit on your team that he gives you from like a versatility standpoint. But like at this point, like who else are you giving these like bats to? Like it's like, oh well, Andrew McCutchen's taking at bats away from people, because you could maybe move Cruz to a DH every now and then, or Reynolds to a DH every now and then, and play other guys more. It's like, well, what if we don't want to play other guys more? Like there's no one we want to play more right now. So yeah, what they're doing right now is exactly what they should be doing. I'm still up in the air as far as like what next year is going to look like. I guess it has to do with what Cutch thinks as well. I think this was the first year where, at least coming into the season in spring training, you did hear him sound like, he didn't really come out and say that this was his last year, but he definitely said that like it's getting close to that time. He at least acknowledged that. But if you're producing like this, I don't know, maybe you just keep playing until you can't, right?
Well, and I think that's his mindset, like keep playing till I can. That's why he wants to give it all. Like he wants to leave everything on the field. And I think like you're talking about, he's felt like he can keep going. And this year you probably just maybe reasonable, like, hey, like I am 38 years old. Like at some point, Father Time will catch up. The thing is, so far I'm not truly, I mean, you're seeing it catching up. I mean, he slows down in some areas, but the performance wise, it's still there that we're talking next year. I mean, as of today, things can change. There's still a remaining part of the season, right? But as of today, I'm still looking at this and saying, next year I want him back. Probably more limited. We're almost thinking that this year also. Like, I mean, you still want him back to the DH. He's probably not getting every day at bats. Like maybe limited, because that does open up. And again, him being used sparingly probably helps him out. Now, I'm not saying sparingly like 2 or 3 times a week, but I'm saying like maybe 4 or 5, right? And that does open up. Like Cutch, if Cruz needs a pseudo day off and maybe he DHs, that takes a spot, right? Reynolds. The thing is too, is like, it's not like those guys need a day off every week. So again, like that's my argument also here with Cutch. It's like, the thing about the DH is that it allows the versatility. You can give people pseudo days off, so that way you're not clogging up the DH. Because we did see that to some level. And again, to be fair, when Reynolds was hurt, well, you want Brian Reynolds in the lineup. He's your best hitter, or at least you thought he was. So he needs the DH, and that takes Cutch out. And that was the problem. It's like, well, now you're one of your best bats isn't in the lineup because of that situation. So like that opened up that argument. But at the same time, all things fair, like someone's not going to be out the entire season in that sense. If you don't have Andrew McCutchen at $5 million and you want to use this as a versatility role, right? Being able to mix and match guys and whatnot. If it's not Cruz and it's not Reynolds, then it's someone who's a below average hitter. Like, are you not wanting to bring in Cutch for $5 million because, well, I can get Andy Rodriguez's bat in there. I can get Henry Davis's bat in there. Oh boy, that's exciting. That's how you win games. You know what? You're right. The problem is Andrew McCutchen's on the team. The fix is we need more Henry Davis in the DH. You need more Andy Rodriguez in the DH. You know what, Jim? Maybe we need Tommy Pham in the DH. That's what's going to help this team get better. I can't comprehend that mindset. I don't understand it. I know the idea of the DH and how it can be used in that way is great, but it comes down to roster construction. This team isn't fit to do that. Without Andrew McCutchen, there is only one hitter on this team that's above average, and that's O'Neal Cruz. That's it. That means 2 through 9 are below average. Why do I want more of that? I need less of that. Collect the good hitters. Purge the bad ones. When you have a guy who's a good hitter, you keep him around. You find how to upgrade the other guys. It's that simple to me. So again, if we're looking to 2026, at this time, I'm still bringing him back with no problem, no argument. Sure, I'm looking probably a little more limited to help him out. And maybe, again, you've gotten more hitters because hopefully in 2026, we're not having the same conversations about this retooling, rebuilding year. Maybe 2027 is the year. Should we trade Paul Skeens? Right? I want to be over that. I want to have a good team. And if you have a good team, you've collected good hitters. And if Andrew McCutchen is still a good hitter and he's part of that solution, you have him on here.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I agree with you. I said, I wish I had an argument against this, but yeah, he is. I mean, it's a 116 weighted runs created plus. They're just those types of hitters aren't available to you. First off, at $5 million, and those types of hitters typically command a lot of attention on the free agent market. And when you have attention, other teams outbid you. And also, there aren't any good hitters who are like banging down the door saying, I want to play for the Pirates. Like, that's not a thing that's happening. So, like, you've got a guy here who's hitting as well as any other bat that you would want to acquire and spend real money on. And he's willing to play for your team because it's his home. It's where his home is. It's where his family lives. He wants to play for the Pirates, and he's willing to do it for $5 million a year. Like, it's a no-brainer. it's
Right.
just an absolute no-brainer. I said I'm still up in the air on whether he's going to come back next year. I mean, that's his decision. But if you're the Pirates and if he keeps doing this, you want him back. Absolutely, you want him back because yeah, you take him out of this lineup, and then you're looking at having like you mentioned, O'Neal Cruz, and then Isaiah Kiner Falefa has been a slightly above average hitter this year. He's been turning it on.
That's fair. He has
gone.
Finally,
he's also gone
line.
next year. So like this team needs hitters, and you look at everyone on this team, and there are no hitters here. You're hoping with Horwitz being back that he can provide you something, but he hasn't in his 60 plate appearances. Like hasn't been good. He's been better than what they've been putting out there. Like he's been better than Jared Triolo. But that's it. So yeah, absolutely. If Andrew McCutchen's still playing and he wants to play and he's willing to play for $5 million, like he's an absolute steal. He's probably one of the biggest steals that's available on the free agent market. Like plain and simple, these types of hitters aren't available to you for $5 million.
Mm-hmm. But they're not. I want to see more power, like you mentioned as well. He's had back-to-back games now with a home run. Maybe it's starting to come. It's much like last year to different degrees. It gets done differently this year than last year. But again, like you look at the StatCast page, like we were talking about last year, like at the end of April, the guy's better than this. And he showed it. Like he had a poor April, but everything looked like it's going to come around. And that's kind of how I feel about Andrew McCutchen, like right now as well. Like, I mean, it's not that he's going to be better. Like he has a 116 weighted runs created plus right now. Like that's pretty good. I'm not here to say he's going to be better, but there's nothing here that tells me like this isn't sustainable. All his expected numbers, all his other stuff, again, like his barrel percentage, it's below last year. Barely. Like last year's barrel percentage was 12%. And that's what we're talking about. Like this guy is hitting the ball as well as almost anybody else. And right now it's at a 10.9%. It's down a percentage point. Still second best since 2014 that we know of. Like this guy is hitting the ball very well.
Yeah,
So,
the biggest jump has been he's just making a lot more contact.
mhm,
I mean, I think that's the biggest thing here because you look at the other things and yeah, there's I'm not noticing anything jumping out on his Statcast page that's like changing all that much from last year. But like all of his expected stats have taken a pretty big jump because he's just hitting the ball in play more. His strikeout rate last year was 25.8%. It's 18% now. So when you cut that strikeout rate by, I mean, 8% like he has, your batting average is going to go up because that's 8% more of the time that you're putting the ball in play. So, yeah, he's putting like for a 38-year-old, like he's putting together a really good season. I would even say for a 28-year-old, he's putting together a really good season. Like he's putting together a really good season right now. And like I said, this Pirates offense is awful. He's one of the reasons why it's not worse.
yeah. Yep. Yep. Just real quick to end on this before we transition to the next segment. If you're in the expected numbers, like his expecting average 272, his expected slugging 452, his expected WOBA 360, like that's all really good. His batting profile shows he should be performing even better than what he is right now. Is that all going to catch up? We'll find out. You know, it's still a small sample to degree. It's 2 months. But again, it's everything we're talking about. He's not chasing, which he doesn't do. He's walking, which he always does. He's striking out even less right now. Like everything looks solid for Andrew McCutchen. So kudos to Andrew McCutchen being third place, 240th home run in the Pirates uniform. Glad you're back. Glad you're back because of the person. Glad you're back because you're the best hitter that this regime has ever brought in, and you had to force them to do it.
Okay, coach.
Okay, coach. All right. So we're going to have Anthony Murphy on as well to talk prospects. Before we do, we're going to switch this up a little bit. We're going to preview this upcoming Astros series. Again, the Pirates aren't really playing for much. It's not like we're previewing this series because we're in a playoff hunt and what needs to happen. But it is a series coming up, and still, all things are relative. You want to see performance. You want to see win. You want to see what Donnie Ball has in play. And if this team is going to help Charrington keep his job or not. So Astros are coming into town. We obviously didn't see Paul Skeens pitch against the Padres. He will pitch against this team. So there's that. And I want to ask you something here as well. Just because. So Cags is getting called up for the Royals. It's Super 2 season, right? That seems to maybe be in the back thought here.
It's the time
Some
of the year
promotions coming up.
where all of a sudden top prospects are they just become major league ready magically around this time of year. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that magic gonna maybe happen this series? Do you think Bubba is gonna get that call? Because that could change up the pitching matchups as well. So yes, involved with that Astros preview is Bubba making the call, Jim. That face tells me a lot.
I don't know. I'm gonna say no. I think they're gonna hold off a little bit longer. I don't know why.
The curveball.
I don't know why. There's just it's frustrating because this season is lost, right? As fans, this season's over. And so all we want to do is just like see how the rest of this season unfolds so that we can look forward to next year. Like that's really what's important to us right now is we want Henry Davis to establish himself as a major league catcher going forward. We want Paul Skeens to go out there and win the Cy Young, right? We want individual accomplishments to feel good about heading into next year. And one of the things that I want to see as a fan is Bubba Chandler. Season's over. Let me see Bubba Chandler for a few months and get him some major league experience so that next year he's ready to roll. This is the time of the year where you could call him up and you're probably safe from Super 2 eligibility at this point. I would love to see him this series. I would love to see him this series. I think the rotation for the Pirates is Skeens, Burrows, Keller.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's a few ways you could rearrange it if you wanted to. You could give, Bubba's on pace to, on regular rest, he would go on Wednesday.
Yep.
He pitched on Friday. So with 5 days rest, he's going Thursday. 4 days rest, he's going Wednesday. There's an off day today. So if you wanted to, and you're the Pirates, you could, keep Keller on 4 days rest, and you could start Chandler on Thursday if you wanted to, give him a home start in his debut. You could keep Burrows on. You could have Burrows pitch on 4 days rest, which he hasn't done in a bit, but he's done it a few times this season. He's done it a few times in his career. It's not like Paul Skeens where that was the last box he had to check, right?
Right. And then he never did it again that season.
Chandler's done it plenty of times in his minor league career.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, this is an opportunity. You could start Chandler one of these games. It's a total possibility. It lines up that way. You could do it a few ways. You could either have him go Wednesday or Thursday. I have a feeling they're going to let Burrows get a couple more starts, though. Just to say, hey, are you going to be a starter, or should we put you in the bullpen? Because Burrows is a guy, too, where, hey, if he doesn't make it as a starter, he could completely be a bullpen pitcher. He's out of options next year. So you sort of need to find out what you have in Mike Burrows. You can't option him again next season, so might as well play him. Might as well play him this year. I think that's what they're going to do. I think they're going to give Burrows another start or two. I would bet that Bubba comes up still in another week or two, but it's lining up for him this week, and I think it's pretty crystal clear that he's ready. I mean, Ashcraft is up here. Burrows is up here. Harrington's had his shot, and none of those guys have performed as well as Bubba Chandler has in AAA. And he's coming off a 5 scoreless inning performance on Friday against Nashville. He hasn't given up more than 3 runs in an outing all year long. He's given up 0 in basically half of his starts. He's kind of getting bored in AAA. There's not really much else for him to prove right now.
And if you know anything about Bubba Chandler, that guy's dripping with confidence. That guy wants challenge. He wants to come up here. Get him up here. But I'm with you. I feel like they're probably going to wait a week or two. I would love to see that happen, especially the way it lines up. I mean, to have Skeens, Bubba, and Mitch Keller. It's that's since Jared's gone, that's the 3. That's the 3-headed monster you're hoping for. But on top of that, too, I've been highlighting the 4 pitchers in this rotation because how outstanding they've been so far. Paul Skeens, the 2.15 ERA, Mitch Keller, 3.73, Bailey Falter, a 3.14, and now Andrew Heaney after yesterday's dropping a little bit, 3.39. This 4 has been a really strong 4 for a rotation. And now you can add Bubba Chandler to that mix. That's your 1 through 5. That's the holy hell. I think Bubba, I'm sorry. I think Bubba will be delayed a bit. I think they want to see Burrows a bit. But you know what? Ultimately, Jim, they can find out what Burrows can do once Heaney's traded. And maybe Mitch Keller. But also, bringing Bubba up, like we talked about, there's the argument that he might win Rookie of the Year if he do so this quickly. So I think there are some reasons to still have him delayed. We'll find out. But again, the Astros series, so that could happen. But Paul Skeens, Mitch Keller, and so far Burrows lined up the pitch. With the off day today and the way the bullpen was used, I believe every reliever should have every opportunity to pitch any game. So no excuses for Rainey come tomorrow on Paul Skeens' day. But the Astros, pitching wise, they're 11th in baseball. Hitting wise, they're 11th in baseball. Pretty competitive team, pretty solid. Altuve's coming a little bit alive lately as well. What do we think about them?
Yeah, they're an interesting team. We miss Hunter Brown, which is nice. If you've been kind of paying attention, Hunter Brown since Paul Skeens' debut has been the 2nd best pitcher in baseball. It's been Paul Skeens number 1, Hunter Brown number 2. So they miss Hunter Brown. But yeah, it's Yordan Alvarez is injured, so you don't have to deal with him, which is nice. He's a scary bat. Without Alvarez, this Astros lineup doesn't really look all that daunting. I mean, Jeremy Pena is having a really good
It's
season.
good.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's the Padres lineup.
No, it's not. Like I said, Pena's having a good year. Paredes is having a good year, but you look at Paredes, and I don't know if it's like this, but I felt like he was going to be just a really, really good fit in Houston because of how he hits. And you kind of look at his home and away splits, and that's how it lines up. Like, he's just a much better player at home. Like you mentioned, Altuve is turning it on a little bit. He's a good little ball player. Like, he's like the original good little ball player.
Literally.
And then, they were the ones to land Christian Walker this year. He's not off to a great start. Yeah, it's not that scary of a lineup, really, though. I mean, Jeremy Pena is having a good year, but like, Jeremy Pena doesn't really scare me. He is having a really good season, though. And he's one of the best defensive shortstops in baseball, which helps him out as well. But yeah, I mean, missing Brown is big because the rest of these pitchers, McCullers is fine. He's a major league starter, but he's not who he used to be. Framber Valdez, they do face on Thursday. He is very good. So they do have to go up against him. But missing Hunter Brown, missing Yordan Alvarez, those are two things that kind of set this series up where the Pirates can potentially take 2 or 3 from the Astros. And the way the Pirates rotation looks, Skeens, Keller, maybe Bubba Chandler, things are lining up nicely for them.
I agree with that part. I agree. Being in Pittsburgh, slight advantage, slightly helps out with them. And that pitching matchup, I mean, again, like, anytime you have Paul Skeens pitching, there's an opportunity. Now, I know more often than not they have lost on those days for other known reasons. Again, the ironic thing, 10 out of 12 starts from Paul Skeens, 2 runs or less. How does this guy have a losing record? It's just beyond belief. But anyways, Paul Skeens absolutely gives your team a chance to win. He can come here and just shut down this lineup easily. I mean, there's not a lineup out there that he can't shut down. He is Paul Skeens for a reason. So it gives you an opportunity to win. And yes, Mitch Keller has been pitching very well also this year. The one game he had the 7 earned run, like that one blow up. Outside of that, like, he's pitched very fine and very well recently. So another opportunity to win. And even if it is Burrows, and not Bubba, Burrows has been capable, as a minor leaguer. He's a cup of coffee right now. He's got, called up. Hasn't been great so far, but it's not like he's not a capable pitcher. I mean, he's capable of being able to start and give you some innings and such. So it'll be interesting if he does get the start to see what he does this time. Because again, like, there is interest in Burrows. He is an interesting pitcher. I don't know what his roles in his future is going to be, but this is part of finding out if it's not going to be Bubba. And if it is Bubba, then I mean, that's another opportunity to win, even if it is just his first start.
Yeah. No, I actually like this matchup for the Pirates right now. Like, with not running into Yordan, not running into Hunter Brown. I'm looking at this lineup, and like Steel City says, like, there's not a lot of slugging on here. Like, there's no one in this lineup where you're like, we got to face this guy. There's no one really there. Like I said, Jeremy Pena is having a good year. But like, Paredes doesn't scare me. Altuve doesn't scare me anymore. Christian Walker's not scaring me. Like, none of these guys are, and they're also all right-handed, which plays into PNC Park. You got right-handed pitchers going. This Astros team is very right-handed heavy, which makes sense if you're the Astros. It's you play in a ballpark where left field is like 225 feet. So like, load up on righties, right? Like, have your guys just pull the ball in the air. It makes sense. That's not the way to play at PNC Park. If you pull the ball at PNC Park, you're more often than not just hitting a fly ball to left. So this is a good matchup. This would be like my dream if the Pirates, this fantasy world where the Pirates were good. You're like, man, I wish we could draw the Astros in the World Series. Just it's a good matchup. A lot of righties, pitching not scary outside Hunter Brown and Valdez. I mean, it's one of the better 1-2 punches you're going to find in the majors. Let's be honest. But like, you only face one of them this go around, and with Yordan not in that lineup, you're pitching like I expect Mitch Keller and Paul Skeens to go out there and have good starts.
Correct. ERA-wise, maybe not, because technically Bailey Falter's there. But like, yeah, you're missing their 1-2 punch, but you're getting the Pirates 1-2 punch. So, and the Pirates number one, again, Hunter Brown, I understand that he's really good too. But like the Pirates number one is number one in the world right now.
Yeah.
That could easily that's now it's split. Who's going to win one of the next two? Are you going to split it, or is someone else going to take the remaining two? Oh yeah. Anyways, I'm interested in this series. It's like Tyler was talking about a heat check for the Padres, and then again, like the Pirates played well against the Padres. It came down to Rainey and the manager ultimately, but like that actually was a good series. That was one that was good to watch, and then I felt like they stacked up pretty well against the big bad Padres. There's like another opportunity. I know they're not full steam, but like it is still the Astros. So, like you mentioned, good win this. That's certainly building on that positive and some of this little bit of momentum that they have. All right.
Yep.
Before we go, prediction: 2 out of 3.
I'm going to say they win 2 out of 3. Yeah, I'm going to say they win 2 out of 3, and I'm going to say Bubba does not start.
I got to agree with you. Okay. I got to agree with you on all fronts. So, all right. Well, then let's go ahead and get to Anthony Murphy. I'm going to be out of here. Jim's going to finish us off. So let's bring on Anthony. At the same time, I'll get out of here. I love you all. Everybody. Bye-bye.
See you, Donardo. The show just got way better.
Yeah, it did.
What's up, Murphy?
What's going on, man?
All right. So Anthony Murphy joining us from Bucs on Deck, Baseball America, TK Pittsburgh Sports. It was we're here to talk about some prospects.
Yeah.
I think there's a few guys to touch on. Definitely want to talk about Connor Griffin for a little bit. And yeah, kind of go from there. But it's been a couple weeks since we've had you on. How's everyone's favorite 19-year-old who, half the people on Twitter are saying,
send him to Altoona. Yes.
No, I'm seeing send him to Pittsburgh. Yeah, like he can't be any worse, Murphy.
It can always be worse. That's what I always say. I mean, he's looked every bit the part. I mean, a lot of people are saying he had the most upside out of anyone in the in his draft class, and like for a 19-year-old, he started the year as 18. Like the tools are very much there to be a difference maker once he eventually does make it to Pittsburgh.
I think that's just what it is like, and I can't remember the last time the Pirates drafted a hitter and like he lived up to. Actually, I would say Connor Griffin is exceeding expectations at this point. I think there was a lot of there wasn't a lot of red flags, but there was one like with the hit tool where I was like, is he going to be able to hit? Because all the other tools were there, and now that you're seeing him hit, the strikeout rate continues to go down too. From what it looks like just continues to drop. He's actually walking now, Murphy, which is incredible. When he gets on base, he's stealing bases super easily. 25 stolen bases and 29 attempts. He's, like I said, walk rate's up to 6.3%. He's hitting 310. He's slugging 511, 142 weighted runs created plus. It's easy to see why. And then you also look at the batted ball numbers too, which is cool that Bradenton has that. Like the fact that he's hitting the ball as hard as he is, as young as he is, everything's just pointing to like this guy has like star potential.
Oh yeah. I think it's just everything about him too. And like even when you speak like off the field and stuff, everyone I've talked to about him, it's like the first thing that always comes up isn't like Connor Griffin, the baseball player. It's like Connor Griffin, the person, is just an amazing person. And then, oh yeah, by the way, he's like clearly the best player on the field, like almost every time he steps on at this point. Just a special talent. You could see the improvements. Like I said, he's starting to walk a little bit more. I don't think that was. Even when he wasn't walking, he was like working counts and getting deep in counts. So I wouldn't say it was horrible that he wasn't walking. It'd be one thing like if he wasn't walking and then he was like chasing and at bad pitches and stuff like that. But I mean, he's just a very aggressive hitter. So when he gets into that 3-1 count, he's not going to take it. He's just going to be looking to swing to put the ball in play kind of stuff. So as long as he's working counts deep, I think you could kind of live with a lower walk rate. But yeah, just must watch TV like every night for him.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I was watching Bradenton Marauders games, and especially Greensboro games.
Yeah,
the Pittsburgh Pirates games. Those ones always seem to be fun. I guess the question right now is he's at 206 plate appearances on the year. Mm-hmm. The only thing I can really compare him to at this point is like Termar at this time. Like Termar ended up getting 383 plate appearances in Bradenton before getting promoted to Greensboro. Do you still see Connor Griffin maybe getting like the rest of June? I know we talked about this before where maybe like once that split season takes, the first half's over, then you make a change. Is that kind of still what you're thinking is his trajectory? Like still some time to go in Bradenton before getting bumped up?
I think that would be the safe bet still. I mean, I guess if he just keeps hitting like this and like he leaves the Pirates like no choice but to go ahead and force him up. Maybe you make that move a little bit early. But I like he's 18, 19. I don't think an extra month in Greensboro is going to change his trajectory. Like he's not going to get to Pittsburgh a whole year sooner by getting an extra month in Greensboro of all places, because we know how Greensboro is. We know he's going to go there and he's going to, all this loud contact that he makes anyways. So like it's, so I don't think an extra month in high A is going to change anything too much. So let him stick around to where, I mean, he's still one of the younger players in the Florida State League, but maybe somewhere that's a little somewhere that's like less hitter friendly, that kind of stuff. And, just be 100% sure, be 100% sure, be 110% sure kind of thing before you send him up there. They're like, I pulled up all the, like breakdowns between like fastballs, breaking pitches, and off speed. There's still a little bit like of a whiff thing with like non-fastballs kind of stuff. If you want to nitpick it at this point, I think you could, with him, with the kind of contact he makes, with the speed that he has, you're going to be okay. You're going to be able to live with some swing and miss. So just be patient with it. He'll get there eventually. He'll be lights out when he gets there. And
we don't want to be patient, Murphy. We want him now.
I know. Trust me, I get that anytime I post a Connor Griffin tweet at all, I expect at least 10. When is he getting promoted? Yeah, at least.
At least. The one thing too, the quicker he gets moved to Greensboro, the quicker we lose all StatCast data on him.
Yes. And that's why I'm personally against it.
Yeah. Hopefully he's not there too long.
Yeah.
Because the other thing too is, and Nola mentioned here, like the way that Greensboro, like his numbers in Greensboro are going to be insane. I feel like.
Yeah. He's not going to need too much time in Greensboro. I feel you're not going to probably want him in Greensboro for too long anyways. So set him up June, July, finish the year, start a couple months in Greensboro, and then just have him in out middle of the season in Altoona next year.
Let's shift gears to the Pirates' second pick last year, who I had some reservations about just because of the bat. I wasn't really sure if that was going to come around. But let's talk about Wyatt Sanford. He's played 20 games now in the Complex League. Looks good there. Did the Pirates? I mean, I know it's Complex League ball. He's 19. I gotta imagine he's not long for there. He'll probably be moved up to Bradenton shortly. But let's introduce everybody to Wyatt Sanford. It's a guy that probably not too many people have watched play in any capacity. Like what are you seeing out of Wyatt Sanford so far?
Well, I think the first thing is it's the glove. Like that, the glove was advertised whenever they took him. Like he was one of the best defensive prep shortstops in the class, maybe one of the best defensive shortstops overall in the draft class. And from what I've seen, and from what like Wilbur gets back to me and stuff like that, it's as advertised. Like he's a no doubt shortstop. Everything is just so smooth and easy, and the arm is there. Offensively, like he hasn't shown too much power yet, but also you look at his frame, you could kind of see where, as he kind of matures and stuff like that, he should grow into a little bit extra power. I don't think he's going to be a big home run hitter, but like if you get 10 to 15 home runs from like a above average to plus shortstop, I think you're okay with that at that point. And he's going to be like a high on base guy. He has an on base percentage of like right at 500 right now, just like a tad under 500. So
Yeah,
he's getting on
47.
base every other. Yeah.
So 19% walk. He's as many walks as he has strikeouts.
And he's been hit by 9 pitches. Like I think when I was down there, he got hit like I think 4 times in a row, like split up over 2 days. Like he got hit his last 2 at bats in one game, and then the next day he was hit in his first 2 times up again. So he's kind of been like a ball magnet up there.
Yeah, I guess 9 hit by pitches in 20 games. That's wild.
Mm-hmm. And then 13 stolen bases. I don't know if that still leads the complex league, but it's definitely right up there at this moment. So as soon as he gets on base, he's looking to try to steal. It's just whatever you think of when you think of like an old school kind of like leadoff hitter. I think like Sanford's kind of built into that kind of mold. So,
you mentioned the glove, and I just want to point this out. Typically, when you're talking about like complex league and low minors, like there's a lot of errors in those games, and 20 games in, and Wyatt Sanford has made 2 errors, which may sound like a lot, but it's not. Like if you're aware of like the low levels of the minors, like 2 errors in 20 games as a middle infielder is kind of incredible.
Yeah, I have seen you see a lot of sloppy baseball when you're down at the complex.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, the fields aren't as nice either. Like the hops aren't as perfect as they are in the majors. So like there are contributing factors to that throughout the minor leagues. But yeah, that sticks out to me. Like only 2 errors in 20 games is quite significant. So yeah, that checks out. So we hit on top 2 guys in last year's draft. Any other players that you wish to highlight and talk about, and what else is going on here?
I know one guy that like I've been pretty high on the last couple of years, and he was off to a little bit of a slow start to begin the year, but Christian Curtis is starting to rattle off a couple good starts. The last walks are still kind of a thing with him, as going back to last year, but he's put together a couple solid starts. He's been kind of been done in by his defense too at times. There's been some like not great defensive play, and you know how they are with like scoring with like outfielders and stuff like that. Sometimes when you kind of feel, it's like it was on the outfielder, they're still not going to call it an error. So like he still kind of gets tagged for an earned run and stuff like that. But the stuff is really good. And I liked his I talked to him when I was in Greensboro, and I loved his confidence because, he went to the Arizona Fall League, and I asked him what like his biggest takeaway from playing in the Fall League, because where he faced some pretty good hitters and down there. And he's like, I'm even more confident that my stuff will play because like, I'm just as good, if not better, as some of these guys on there. And so he worked on a lot of stuff in the off season, and like he's aware too. I think that's a big thing with he knows what he needs to do, and like he's very specific, and he knows exactly what he's working on every time he's going out there. And it's one of those guys. Like, I mean, he's older than Bubba is, but it's like he's a lot more because like the injuries in college, he hasn't pitched much. So like I kind of feel like it's going to be like the thing where like Bubba, like it may take some time, but when it clicks, he's going to have that moment where it like all comes together. The control gets in there and all that kind of stuff. And the stuff is really good to where he can be a pretty decent pitcher.
Yeah, he was a guy who, he started off the season real rough. Like his first 3, 4, 5 starts did not go all that well. But you look at the last 5 outings, 1 run, 1 run, 2 runs, 1 run, 1 run. The walks are still there, like you talked about. You know, you kind of want to see him clean that up. 8 walks in his last 3 starts. So yeah, that's kind of the thing right now, is just, I guess, getting a better feel for pitching is kind of, and if it makes sense, like the injuries, you know, that kind of stuff makes sense. Like if the stuff's there and the feel isn't, it's because you probably just haven't pitched all that much. So yeah, overall the season numbers getting a little bit better. And I mean, he's pitching in a pretty tough environment. And that's not an excuse, but it's true. He's given up 5 homers so far in 34 innings. So like that's up there. But yeah, you want to see the walk numbers go down.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, the stuff is really good. And he put together, if I remember correctly, it was a pretty good Arizona Fall League campaign.
Yeah. It started rough, and then like you could kind of see things kind of like clicking and stuff like that. But he had some, and he struck out some like really good hitters down there too. And like I said, he felt very confident coming out of it.
Well, let's finish this off with you know, we talked about it a little bit earlier in the episode, but Bubba Chandler. Is there anything left for him to work on, Murphy? He's ready. He's major league ready, isn't he?
I mean, I mean, I feel like I'm usually the guy who, like, you know, when people start pestering me about the promotions and stuff like that, I'll get petty and find some random thing that I feel like that someone can work on just to make an argument. But no, he's major league ready at this point. I mean, yeah, the guy has three plus pitches. The curveball is flashed like average. So, like, the control wasn't great last month. But like 1 month out of like the last 2 years, like, sure, why not?
Yeah, I think it's Bubba time. I have a feeling it's still going to be a couple more weeks, though.
Yeah, I like going back on you guys talking about Burrows. I think it would kind of be a disservice to Burrows to like his run to be like 3 or 4 starts. I would love it if he would get like a lot more than that, because I do feel like Burrows has a better chance of being a starter than like someone like Ashcraft. So I would really like him to get more of an extended run than just be like, okay, it didn't work okay, it's Bubba time. I'd rather, if Bubba's coming up, I'd rather it be like a trade of one of those lefties to create space kind of thing.
Yeah. Could you see Steel City asks like what they're doing with Ashcraft? Like they're getting him up here and they're giving him bullpen work. That's not an option for Bubba.
No. But I mean, no. But Bubba is potential top of the rotation. Like, who was it? Like, someone on Baseball America was saying that like he's like like right behind Paul Skeens as far as potential wise, that from just because of the pure stuff level. So like, no, 1 or 2 innings isn't going to work for Bubba Chandler. He's a starter.
Yeah. One more question before you go. As Merlin Valdez having a really good start to Greensboro. I think he's second in all of minor league baseball in home runs right now. How long are you keeping him there? I mean, are you giving him an extended season in Greensboro and he's going to end up with like 45 homers and break South Atlantic League records or something? Or like, what are they going to do with him?
I mean, I feel like he'd fall under the whole, first half of the season thing. Like under like what they did with Charles McAdoo last year. You clear some people up, move some guys up. But yeah, he's not a guy that I'm gonna want to see in Greensboro all season long because the power's legit. I'm kind of, to be honest, people asking if like the power legit and stuff like that, or is it Greensboro? It's like, yeah, his home road splits are like favor Greensboro, but like everyone's home road splits are almost always going to favor Greensboro if your home market, yeah. So it's not the power that the question is. That's never been the question. So the contact rates have gone up, which is good. Now I think it's just kind of time to see how he does in with tougher competition.
Yeah. I also need him playing in more meaningful baseball games so that we can just get him referring to himself in the third person on social media all the time and just have it be more visible. I think that's my favorite. Is every time there's an Esmeralda Valdez home run, he quote tweets it with like, Valdez is crazy.
Yeah, I love it. I had a chance to talk to him in Bradenton, and he's just full of life, energy, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
He's just an awesome person, awesome kid.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, Murphy. Well, we're gonna end this. But thanks for coming on. Always appreciate you coming on. Where can people find your work?
Bucs on Deck Substack, daily features. We have a game day thread, morning rundown where we break everything down of the previous day. DK Pittsburgh Sports, I kind of do like a rundown of through the minor leagues and Baseball America. I should have one up this week. My next one on BA, so look out for that. Also, if I could shout out, Dominican Summer League starts today. I did over the weekend. I went through a bunch of names to kind of watch for this year and down in DSL. So,
who's the number one name?
I'll give you like a maybe not a big signing guy on there, but I've been told like Edgar Walker's like a really big game. It's someone that they're really high on there that could kind of be a sleeper. Only signed for like $75K. So he's kind of like the biggest name to watch, I think, like under the radar.
All right, Edward Walker. We'll talk about him in 2 weeks, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We appreciate all of you waking up early today. You guys are the best. Like, subscribe, leave a review, all that good stuff. But yeah, we will no post game today. Pirates are off, so we'll be back tomorrow evening after Pirates Astros. Appreciate you all. Let's go Bucs. All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucs.